My name is Jason Lee McKinney. It's the Jason Lee McKinney Band. Style of music is Americana, which runs a gamut. I mean, everything from folk to blues to rocks. Kind of throw it in there. And then from all over, Texas, Nashville, a couple guys are from Georgia. I got my start in marching band and choir, and then started playing in a band in high school. Was the drummer in that band. Just kind of fell in love with it. I think that's something that's just in you. Like, you just have that bent towards it. If it's in you, then you have to write. It's not a choice. When I started playing in high school, the other guys in the band, they would try to write, and they were honestly much better musicians than me, but they just didn't have that drive into something that connects with them. The Jason Lee McKinney Band, we've been on the road 5 years, but I was in a couple other bands that were signed, one on the Christian label and one in the general market. But what's kept me on the road really is just that same thing about writing, just wanting to share my heart, wanting to move people. It's not, for a time in my life, it got to be about commerce. You know, when you're in the industry, it's about getting to the chorus in 30 seconds and writing for radio, and that's just not what it's, it's just moving people. It's called A Little More, and I was just kind of, I was off the road, and my wife was at work, and I was sitting by the Christmas tree, watching Netflix a few years ago, and I just decided there's so many songs now that are about, and there's nothing wrong with, I don't get all bent out of shape about Santa Claus or reindeer or any of that, but there's so much about that. Just a subtle, gentle reminder that as good as it is to see friends, on New Year's Eve, as good as it is to come home and see your parents, that we got to remember that it's about more than that. It's really about the birth of a Savior. And if we lose that, then it's really just an excuse, a cultural excuse to get together and give presents. But even the reason we give presents, everything behind it really has a deeper meaning. And just a reminder that it really all comes back to a couple teenagers and a tiny little child who was the Savior of the world, but also completely dependent. Just that God would humble himself to come in so fragilely is the reason why we remember the season. Because really, for Christians, the culmination really isn't Christmas, it's really Easter. But the humility of God and the sacrifice started there. And that's where I think you got to remember that it was just this fragile little child placed in the arms of a teenage girl. Any time to get to be a part of something that's got to do with Christmas, I like it. I'm the guy from Thanksgiving to New Year's. I don't listen to anything but Christmas songs. So to me, it was just an honor to be a part of something that had to do with Christmas. I think it is an extra benefit to the students here because they know that somebody's actually out there doing it for real, like in an active part of their career, not history, like I used to do it, like 10 years ago I did it, or I'm gonna do it someday. But right now, I'm in the midst of doing it. And I just, as far as artistically, as far as like awards and honors, had the best year of my career. So I think for them, it adds that benefit. And for me, it really is one of the first times in my life that I'm completely satisfied and content with where God has me. I'm happy. I'm happy teaching here. I'm happy being on the road. I'm happy with my recording. I mean, I would love to sell more records, but wouldn't we all? But other than that, man, I'm content. I'm passionate about this place and I'm happy to be here. I'm Jason Lee McKinney. Check out my Christmas single, A Little More, on Visible Christmas Volume 3, coming out November 25th at all of your digital retailers.
Wish a little more for you this Christmas. More than candy in a stocking, a tinsel